So much to dissect indeed. Thank you, Rob. My goodness, what a drama-packed stage all the way through. And it finishes with a little wiggle on the end, unfortunately. Great news for Kaden Groves, however. His first win of the season. And Adam, yes, indeed, you did pick him for the day.
Hey, last pick.
Yeah.
Last pick of the day, got the winner. It feels sweet. But what a sprint by Kaden Groves. From this angle here that we've just seen, we couldn't see Kaden Groves start his sprint. There was a decathlon rider that started his sprint on the left-hand side. I think it was one rider in front of Bennett, and as he started to go, I think Groves just started that inch or two before him and just went right around a couple of lead-out riders. But as we spoke about the other day, it was the perfect slingshot. Just coming right, getting that room and being able to get clean air to start his sprint. I mean, when he came past, he looked like he'd come from a slingshot. He was going so fast. It was unbelievable. But Alpecin as well, you've got to take your hat off to him. They were the one team at the end that really nailed that lead out before the last kilometre, because I think the last kilometre all went a bit mental.
Well, it did really, though, didn't it, Robbie? Because I know that the peloton was completely discombobulated and disconcerted by what had happened throughout the stage, but that was a very strange run into the finish, wasn't it?
Unorthodox is an understatement.
Yeah.
We saw Jensen Plowright take off, and, OK, it left others to do the chasing behind him in a way, but they were still trying to lead out Groves with Edward Plancart. So that sort of fell apart. But then Wout van Aert came out, and that for me is the mistake of the day. Was not launching Olaf Koy, just regulation sprint lead out, going from so far behind with so much speed, but then you get on the front too soon. I think they should have just waited, used Wout van Aert's natural speed and power, brought him up when was necessary and launched him straight off the wheel, pull him into 200 metres to go. Don't go from 700 and then Koy's got like, this is too soon to be at the front, so he slotted in. I think they got it wrong, and in the end, Koy got boxed in. Moschetti nearly put him
that was close
through the barriers. He had two
there.
goes at it too. That was really... Moschetti will be rubbed out from the stage, but it's all immaterial because Kaden Groves... He anticipated what was happening around him, moved out to the open side, and as Adam said, the slingshot as he just rode his way into the slipstream, up and out and over.
So much extra speed.
Daylight second. I guess the rest doesn't really matter.
Still so many questions. I don't know whether could Wout have committed to that, even if he had originally been supposed to be.
100%.
But he wasn't committed, was he? Because he kept looking over his shoulder.
It was as if it was a... I don't know whether he expected Koy on his wheel to do a long lead out or not. It just looked like it wasn't 100% commitment. We were willing him on, but the amount of times he looked round, it was just... But it was the same with Alpecin Decathlon, with that little launch off the front. Because of the small group at the end...
Hold on, you guys have been watching a different race. They came out that last corner.
Show us then, show us.
We haven't got it till the last corner here. If we can go back a little bit.
What I'm trying to say is it was just such an unorthodox sprint. It's easy to get wrong. There wasn't the resource we're used to.
Of course, of course. I truly believe in this situation here. They came out that last corner with Alpecin, and the second rider from Alpecin, forgive me, I don't know his name, but the second rider let that wheel go because he wasn't confident enough going into that corner. He all of a sudden took 50 metres coming out of the corner, and as soon as he took that 50 metres, they just couldn't catch him back up. That led Van Aert to start closing that gap down. As Van Aert came around the front, Koy moved off his wheel, so he physically braked to get on the wheel of Groves. So I think as he did that from Groves, that's the first mistake of Koy, that he slotted back in because there's riders coming past him. This is the point where Van Aert goes through, and I really...
He's still sitting there. He's 15th in line
bringing
at this
Koy up
point.
now, isn't he?
I do believe in this point here, you can see by his body language, he's pulling, he's rocking, he's 100% committed. If he wasn't, that would have been brought back. In a bunch sprint, moving at 65, 70k an hour, if he wasn't fully committed, he'd have been brought back like that.
I don't mean committed to the chase, I mean committed to the win for himself.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
We're 800 metres to go, so Koy's feeling like this is too early to be a sitting duck.
No, Koy's even further back. Koy's even further back. You can't even see Koy.
You can. You followed Van Aert up. He followed him up. Van Aert's already gone. But that was at 800 metres to go. That is too long to do a lead out, and Koy would have been sort of there at the front with and you see Van Aert was starting to fade in his speed anyway. He's pushing on, but the speed fading. He couldn't have done the lead out effectively from that far out. That's why Koy chose to sit and wait. Had Wout van Aert just sat and waited for the signal from Olaf Koy to go, he would have had clean air, clean sprint, and had a crack at the stage. We're not saying he would have won, but here, Kaden Groves, open side, fresh air. Look at the other side on the barriers. That is Koy.
Koy completely boxed in.
If he wasn't ridden into the barriers by Moschetti, he would have been alongside Kaden Groves, challenging for the victory. He was denied the opportunity completely, which is a real shame for him. But Groves got it 100% right.
Matt, I want to hear from you. Was that an error on the part of Wout van Aert? Was it an error on the part of Olaf Koy?
I think, looking back at what Adam pointed out, there was a clear decision. Van Aert came up with a lot of speed to look like to drop off Koy with about 700 metres to go. And also, I think he's a little bit concerned about the Alpecin guy, maybe going solo. So I thought, we need to bring him back. But Koy just locked it off. I think he thought, this is I'm in second position way too early, and he made the call to drop off the wheel.
This is what I mean by it.
They shared a mistake.
Yeah, this is what I mean by when Wout wasn't committed. From that point, he was committed to doing that effort. He was already committed. The gap went, and he was committed till the finish. No matter what happened, he went too early for the lead out, 100%. But he was committed once that gap went. If I can get across this line first, brilliant, 100%.